Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rob's Triathlon Tips for Beginners. This is a video about yoga and why it has had such a great impact on my triathlon training and why I think it should be part of your training program. So, years ago, I would say that I had the probably common misconception that yoga is just something that women do, and that is completely wrong. So, if that's what you think of yoga, just toss that in the bin. It's very inaccurate. Um, Yoga is definitely a crucial thing to incorporate into your triathlon training regimen. Um, so there are many types of yoga, everything from meditation and breathing exercises to nowadays kind of fusions of traditional yoga with modern ways of working out, sort of westernized yoga, I guess you would call it. It's like strength and conditioning yoga or even high intensity interval training mixed with yoga. So there's a broad spectrum of yoga to meet whatever you're looking for or whatever your needs are. Um, I'd say that there are two kinds of people in terms of like where you get energy from. If you've ever done one of those surveys, maybe HR organized it, those personality tests, they say there are people who are energized by others and people who are not. And so if you like being around other people and that energizes you and you like the support from other people, then definitely go and do yoga classes in a studio. But if you're like me and you prefer to work out alone, there's still ways for you to do that at home or on the go if you're traveling. The way that I do yoga is with an app called Glow, GLO. You can use Glow on your TV, your phone, your tablet. Um, I, I watch it on my TV through my Apple TV box. And it's a monthly subscription based service, and it's quite a reasonable price. It's actually cheaper than going to a studio all the time. It's got content from so many different instructors, so I'm never finding it difficult to find yoga that I want to do. Um, all the instructors have different ways of talking about yoga that may or may not get on your nerves, for example. Some are very spiritual, some use terms that sort of you may think are kind of awkward, goofy, or whatever. So it may take a little bit of trial and error for you to find instructors that you like. But once you've found those instructors, it's just like a gold mine because this instructor will have 40 classes and you can dive into all of those. Um, with Glow, you can filter classes by how much uh, you want, how much time you have to do yoga that day, or what style of yoga you want to do, what instructor you prefer, etc. There's all these different things you can filter by like the difficulty level, for example. So you could say, I want a class that's level 1 to 2, or I'm advanced. I want to do level 3 class for more of a challenge. Um, and Glow gives you, or an app similar to Glow would give you another option while you're traveling. So let's say you're going on a business trip or a personal trip, and maybe you forgot to pack your workout gear, or you just don't feel like going to the gym in your hotel, or your hotel doesn't have a gym, or you're in a city you're not comfortable going outside for a run or walk, or renting a bike somewhere, and you're on your own. Well, you could use the Wi-Fi in your hotel and do yoga on your phone if you've got the app. You could put a towel down on the floor or something. And I've done that a few times. It's just another option for working out when you don't think you can. The main types of yoga that I do are the following types. So, number one would be classes designed for after a hard run or a hard bike. And so they're more stretching focused. Uh, Yoga has been fantastic for introducing to me to new stretches, especially for my hips and hamstrings. Like, I've come across ways of stretching I had no idea about before yoga that have been fantastic for my recovery. Um, the second kind of yoga that I do is vinyasa flow, and that's a style of yoga that's more of a workout. Like, you can build up a good sweat doing vinyasa flow, and you can do it for as long as you want. It could be 15 minutes, it could be an hour and a half. And that's a style of yoga that's very focused on moving, more constantly moving, um, and focusing on your breathing at the right times of the exercises, exhaling at the right times of the exercises. Um, the third type of yoga that I do, or what they sort of label as off season, more strength focused classes for cyclists, runners. There's other ones. There's like off season training for cross country skiers and climbers, and they're fun to sort of dabble in to see what those workouts are like. Some of those workouts may be legs only to sort of give you a break from your shoulders being sore from swimming or doing strength training, for example. And the fourth type of yoga that I do quite frequently actually is short classes, no more than about 20 minutes, that are designed for the evening to help you kind of wind down your day. And especially on days where I haven't had time to do a workout that day, but I feel like I want to do something before I go to bed, but not be too wound up to not fall asleep. Those kinds of classes come in handy. Um, some of the benefits that I've seen from yoga are much better recovery from hard workouts. Like I mentioned before, you learn stretches that you didn't know before, rather than just leaning against the wall and holding your ankle to stretch your quad. It just sort of opens your mind to a whole new world of stretches. Um, I've gotten a much stronger core from doing yoga. So I don't just mean abs. My glutes and my hips are much stronger. And because those things are stronger, that makes you more resilient, especially from all the running that you do as a triathlete. And a stronger hip muscles will prevent you from injuring your back and your knees, because those three things are tied together, which you discover from injuring yourself and going to physio. So that's a great benefit for yoga. I have felt like a strong increase in stability on the bike, which is translated to increased speed on the bike. When I started getting more serious about yoga, I became at least 1 kilometer an hour faster on the bike just by doing yoga, which is a huge improvement. Um, I've also had way less injuries since incorporating a lot of yoga into my week. So I would say I do yoga 2 to 4 times a week. It varies based on all my other workouts and schedule. So the last time I hurt myself from training, I can't even remember anymore. The last time I hurt myself was being silly on an inflated playground at a beach a couple years ago. But yeah, yoga has obviously made a big difference in me not hurting myself from the volume of training. I also feel like my feet are stronger because yoga puts you into positions and puts you off balance in ways that you just aren't throughout your regular life, or through cycling, swimming, doing strength training, or running. You do things in yoga that you wouldn't otherwise. And so, knock on wood, I haven't had plantar fasciitis, and I believe a big part of that is due to yoga strengthening my feet. Um, there's also kind of an interesting benefit I believe that I've been getting from yoga, in that when I do vinyasa flow, It's, as I said, it's focused on the timing of inhaling and exhaling, and that really applies to swimming when you think about it. You've got to, it puts you in this mindset of being used to thinking about when you're exhaling and breathing, and you have to do that swimming. You have to be exhaling as your head's underwater. Otherwise, you're going to gasp for air when it's your time to breathe in. So there's a neat tie-in there between yoga and swimming. And the last benefit, but also key benefit of yoga that I've seen is that it's not easy to do yoga for an hour. It's really tough. If you're going to do a yoga flow workout for an hour, that is a hard workout, much harder than you may think. It's all there are also um, poses like I hate doing the dolphin pose, for example. That's very hard to hold for an extended period of time, and that builds mental toughness that translates to triathlon training. That may help you push through times where you're hitting a wall in the run or the swim or the bike. And you'll think back to yoga and when you're doing dolphin pose, and man, I hate that pose, but I know I can hold that for so long, even though that dolphin pose sucks. So definitely, I hope you've learned by watching this video that you should not discount yoga as something you should include. In fact, in your training, in fact, it should be a big part of your training program for triathlons. If you found that video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Remember to hit the little bell icon and select all for notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And pass this video on to people you know that may benefit from it. Thank you.